Good morning, students. In the last class, we discussed the valency shell electron pair repulsion theory. This theory helps us to determine the geometry of a molecule based on the number of electron pairs around the central atom. After that, we discussed certain examples based on the number of electron pairs around the central atom. And today's concept is valence bond approach of covalent bond. So what do you mean by this one? So you know very well how a covalent bond is formed. The covalent bond is formed by sharing of a pair of electrons between the two atoms. Toward the shared pair of electrons, each atom is contributed the same number of electrons. So it is very clearly we say the covalent bond is formed by sharing of a pair of electrons between the two atoms, which will be resulted into the formation of a molecule. In the formation of a molecule, the two atoms are come close together. Which force keep the two atoms close together? That is could not explained by any one of the theory so far we discussed. So that means the simple concept, that is formation of a covalent bond, does not give any idea about what kind of the forces are operating between the atoms in a molecule. That is the one drawback. The second drawback is, the valency shell electron pair repulsion theory says, so and so number of electron pairs are present, so and so geometry. Even the formation of a covalent bond is also sometimes give an idea about the shapes of a molecules. But theoretically, no theory could not explain why that molecule can adopt that particular geometry. This is the another limitation after studying the concept of formation of covalent bond. And the third one is, when we see the different molecules, in all the molecules, the same type of bond is present. That is, for example, if a single covalent bond is present in between the two atoms in any molecule. But when we see their bond parameters, like bond length or bond energy, so they are completely different from one molecule to the another molecule. In both the cases, the single covalent bond is present, but their bond length is different, their bond dissociation enthalpy is also different. But in both the cases, by sharing of one electron pair between the two atoms, the covalent bond is formed. Even though the same type of a bond is present, why that molecule can possess the different bond parameters, that is bond length or bond dissociation enthalpy. That means, for example, let us take the hydrogen molecule is there. Hydrogen molecule is formed by the combination of two hydrogen atoms. Fluorine molecule is also formed by the combination of two fluorine atoms. In the formation of hydrogen molecule or fluorine molecule, between the atoms only one type of bond is present, that is single covalent bond is present. This single covalent bond is formed by sharing of one electron pair. Here one electron pair, here also one electron pair. Towards this shared pair of electron, each hydrogen atom is contributing one electron. Here towards this shared pair of electron, each fluorine atom is contributing only one electron. So that in both the cases, the scenario, the formation of a covalent bond should be same. But when we see the bond length or bond dissociation enthalpy is quite different. The bond dissociation enthalpy in the case of hydrogen atom, it is 435.8 kilojoule per mole, whereas the bond length is 74 picometers. But in the case of the fluorine molecule, the bond dissociation enthalpy is 150.6 kilojoule per mole, whereas the bond length is 42 picometers. In both the cases, the same single covalent bond is present, but their bond dissociation enthalpies are different and their bond lengths are also different. So why the bond dissociation enthalpy is different? Why the bond length is different? Even though the same type of bond is exist between the atoms, that is could not explained by the simple concept of covalent bond formation. To overcome these limitations, That is, what kind of attractive forces are present between the atoms in the formation of a molecule, and how a molecule can adapt a particular geometry, and why the bond dissociation enthalpy and why bond length are different even though the same type of bond is exists between the two atoms. To overcome these limitations, the two important theories are commonly used. These two important theories are based on quantum mechanical principle. Quantum mechanical principles. The two theories are commonly used or developed. That is valence bond theory, that is VBT, and the second one is molecular orbital theory. Valence bond theory and molecular orbital theory. VBT means valency bond theory, and the second one is molecular orbital theory. So these are the two theories are commonly used. So to explain the limitations so far whatever we discussed. So first let me discuss briefly about what is valence bond theory. So this valence bond theory was put forward by Hitler and London. After that, this theory was improved and developed by Pauling and Slater. So what is the base for this valence bond theory? The base for valence bond theory is, one is atomic orbital and electronic configuration of elements. Second one is overlap criteria of atomic orbitals. And the third one is stability of molecule. So based on the knowledge of these three, this valence bond theory was developed. So based on the knowledge of these three, so what are the important assumptions or postulates of the valence bond theory? They are, the very first assumption is atoms does not lose their identity even after the formation of a molecule. In the formation of a molecule, the atoms are come close together and as a result, the molecule is formed. When the molecule is formed, what we feel that, so there is no atom, only we can talk about the molecule. That means we feel that atoms have no identity. But according to valence bond theory, the atoms does not lose their identity even after the formation of a molecule. And the second assumption of valence bond theory is the bond is formed due to interaction of the valency electrons as the two atoms come close to each other. The inner electrons do not participate in the bond formation. The atoms does not lose their identity, we say here. So in the formation of a molecule, the atoms are come very close to each other. So while they are come close to each other, only the valency electrons are involved in the bond formation. That means the bond is formed due to interaction of only valency electrons. So the whatever that inner electrons are present, they do not participate in the bond formation. Once they do not participate in the bond formation means, is that the atom completely lose their identity? No, atoms does not lose their identity because only valency electrons are participated, the inner electrons do not participate in the bond formation. The third important assumption of valence bond theory is, during the formation of a bond, only the valency electrons from each bonded atom lose their identity. The other electrons remains unaffected. Because while the atoms are come very close to each other, only the valency electrons are involved in the bond formation, so that the valency electrons are lose their identity. The inner electrons do not participate in the bond formation, that they are not affected anything. That's why the inner electrons does not lose their identity. The fourth one, this is the most important one. The stability of a bond is accounted by the fact that the formation of a bond is accompanied by release of energy. The molecule has the minimum energy at a particular distance between the atoms known as internuclear distance. So larger the decrease in energy, the stronger the bond will be formed. What they say that? So the atoms are come close together, the molecule is formed. The formation of a molecule is more stable or less stable. How we can decide it? That simply, so the stability of a bond is accounted by the fact that the formation of a bond is accompanied by releasing energy. Generally, when the two atoms are come very close to each other, the amount of energy, certain amount of energy will be released and it reaches to the minimum energy. So that system is acquiring the minimum energy by releasing the energy. Where the system is acquiring the energy, where the molecule is acquiring the minimum energy, so that state is always said to be the most stable state. At that state, definitely the atoms are separated by certain distance. That distance is called as internuclear distance. That is also we called as bond length. So that means definitely in the formation of a molecule, the molecule is definitely acquire a state of minimum energy that is always corresponding to the maximum stability. At that stage, the distance between the two atoms is called as the internuclear distance. That means, so it is different from one molecule to the another molecule. So in between for example, in the so far we discussed, in the hydrogen case, the bond length is 74 picometers is there. Whereas in the fluorine, the bond length is 42 picometers. That means, so in the formation of a hydrogen molecule, when the two hydrogen atoms are separated by a distance 72 picometers, at that stage, so that molecule is acquiring a state of minimum energy and that is corresponding to the maximum stability. Even less than 74 picometer or greater than picometer, so that molecule do not have that minimum energy. Once it is do not have the minimum energy, that is never said to be a most stable state. And in the case of a fluorine molecule, so by the two fluorine atoms are approached each other by maintaining a distance 42 picometers between them, that distance is corresponding to that fluorine molecule is having the minimum energy and maximum stability. And that means all the molecules do not possess the minimum energy whenever their bonded atoms are separated by a same distance. It is different from one molecule to the another molecule. So at that distance, definitely that molecule acquired a minimum energy and a maximum stability. So that distance we are called as here internuclear distance or bond length. So in the formation of a molecule, so wherever the more amount of energy is released, so in that case the stronger the bond will be formed. So that is the another important assumption of the valence bond theory. So these are the four important assumptions of valence bond theory. Once again, the first one, atoms does not lose their identity even after the formation of a molecule. The bond is formed between the atoms, it is only because of interaction of valency electrons, but not all the electrons do not participate in the bond formation. During the formation of a bond, only the valency electrons are lose their identity because they are participated in the bond formation. The remaining electrons, the inner electrons, do not participate in the bond formation. That's why they do not lose their identity. The fourth one, the stability of a bond, whatever the bond is formed between the atoms is most stable or less stable. That is accounted by the fact that the formation of a bond is accompanied by the release of energy. The molecule has a minimum energy at a particular distance between the bonded atoms is known as internuclear distance. Wherever the more amount of energy is released, so in that case, the stronger the bond will be formed. So these are the assumptions of valence bond theory. So to more clearly understand about this valence bond theory, so let us take how the hydrogen molecule is formed. That is, I will take the example and I will try to explain based on the assumptions of this valence bond theory. So let us take the formation of hydrogen molecule. So the hydrogen molecule is formed by the combination of two hydrogen atoms labeled as A and B respectively, HA and HB. The electrons present in the two hydrogen atoms are labeled as EA and EB. In the two hydrogen atoms which are labeled as A and B, so these are the two nuclei, and these are electrons of corresponding hydrogen atoms. Before the formation of hydrogen molecule, that means when these two hydrogen atoms are apart from each other with a large distance, so there is no interaction between these two hydrogen atoms. Once there is no interaction between the two hydrogen atoms, what is the energy of the system? The energy of the system is the the sum of the average energy of the two hydrogen atoms. Here I say very clear, whenever the two hydrogen atoms are separated by a large distance, there is no interaction. Only what type of interaction is there at that time? The HA and EA, HB and EB. So in between these two attractive forces present, in between these two attractive forces present. It is very common. Whenever an electron is present in an atom, definitely it is under the influence of its nuclei. So HA and EA attracted each other and HB and EB are attracted each other. So for the formation of hydrogen molecule, these two hydrogen atoms are come close to each other. Whenever the two hydrogen atoms are come very close to each other, the new attractive and repulsive forces are begin to operate in addition to the existed attractive forces. What are the new attractive and repulsive forces are developed? The new attractive and repulsive forces are the attractive forces. You know very well, before they are come very close to each other, HA is under the influence of EA, HB is under the influence of EB. These two are attracted each other. In addition to this, whenever these two atoms are approached each other, the nuclei of hydrogen atom A is attracted which one? The electron of hydrogen atom B. So that's why I write here HA is attracted the electron of B. Similarly, HB is attracted the electron of a hydrogen atom. That means in addition to the existing attractive forces, so these two new attractive forces are beginning to operate between the hydrogen atoms in the formation of hydrogen molecule. Not only attractive forces, the repulsive forces are also will be existed. What are the repulsive forces? Repulsive forces are, so whenever the two hydrogen atoms are approached each other, so the nuclei of both the hydrogen atoms are repelled with each other because both are carrying the positive charge, and their respective electrons are also will be repelled each other because both are carrying the negative charge. That's why the repulsive forces are exist between the two nuclei HA and HB and EA and EB. So these are the attractive and repulsive forces are operated between the hydrogen atoms in the formation of hydrogen molecule. We know very well the attractive forces are always keep the two bonded atoms close together. The repulsive forces are always push the atoms apart from each other. But experimentally observed that attractive forces are dominating the repulsive forces. When attractive forces are dominating the repulsive forces, the hydrogen atoms are always try to come very close to each other with the releasing of energy. As the atoms are come very close to each other with the releasing of energy, the stability of the system is increases, because whenever that according to valence bond theory, so larger the energy is released, stronger the bond is formed. Stronger the bond is formed is nothing but that is said to be more stable. Wherever the more amount of energy is released, that system is acquiring only minimum energy. Minimum energy is always corresponding to the maximum stability. That's why in the formation of hydrogen molecules, as the hydrogen atoms are come very close to each other, the energy is releases. So as they come very close to each other, greater amount of energy is released, that system is acquiring the maximum stability. So like that, they are come very close to each other until a stage is reached where the attractive forces are equal to the repulsive forces. The two atoms are come very close to each other until which stage? When the attractive forces are equal to the repulsive forces. When the attractive forces are equal to the repulsive forces, at that stage, so the two hydrogen atoms are bonded together to form the most stable hydrogen molecule. In the formation of the most stable hydrogen molecule, so the atoms are separated by a certain distance. At that distance, the attractive forces are equal to the repulsive forces. At that distance, that hydrogen molecule acquire a state of minimum energy, that is said to be the maximum stability. So that distance is in between hydrogen atoms Ha and Hb. So that is we write in that example while discussing the limitation, that is 74 picometers. In between the two hydrogen atoms, whenever the 74 picometer is there, so at that stage the attractive forces are become equal to the repulsive forces. As a result, the two hydrogen atoms are bonded together. At that stage, the atom is acquiring a state of minimum energy and maximum stability by releasing the greater amount of energy. That energy is, so hydrogen gas and hydrogen atom gas combined together to form hydrogen molecule with the releasing of energy 435.8 kilojoule per mole. This much of energy is released during the formation of hydrogen molecule. So at that stage, so the molecule, whatever it is formed, that is said to be most stable, and this hydrogen molecule is having the minimum energy. That's why the hydrogen molecule is always said to be more stable than the individual atoms here whenever it is releasing the 435.8 kilojoule per mole energy. This energy we are called as bond energy. So why it is called as a bond energy? Whenever you are supplying the same amount of energy, the hydrogen to the hydrogen molecule, so when we are supplying 435.8 kilojoules per mole of energy, then immediately this hydrogen molecule is broken into the individual atoms, hydrogen atoms. So because once you are supplying the energy of the system is increases, the stability is decreases, so that the repulsive forces are dominating. So the atoms are always trying to away from each other and to form individual atoms. So this is that the 435.8 kilojoule for mole energy when you are supplied to this hydrogen molecule, that is dissociated into individual hydrogen atoms. Here the two factors at 74 picometers, okay, so the two atoms are bonded together to form a most stable molecule. At that stage, that molecule having the minimum energy and maximum stability by releasing the 435.8 kilojoule per mole, that is we called as here which one? Bond energy. Somebody may raise the question, suppose if you are close the two hydrogen atoms less than 74 picometers, what is happened? So whenever we are keeping these two hydrogen atoms less than 74 picometer distance, then the repulsive forces are dominating the attractive forces. When the repulsive forces are dominating, the atoms are always trying to away from each other. When the atoms are trying to away from each other, the stability of the system is decreases and the energy of the system is increases. That is always said to be corresponding to the minimum stability. So that means if you are keeping these two hydrogen atoms if less than 74 picometer, the potential energy of the system is increases. So the stability of the system is what happened? Decreases. So that's why at 74 picometer only, this system is acquiring the maximum stability and minimum energy. So like that we can explain the formation of hydrogen molecule. So when we see the potential energy diagram, so for this hydrogen molecule, so whenever the two hydrogen atoms A and B are away from each other, the potential energy of the system is assumed to be zero because there is no interaction between the two hydrogen atoms. As these two hydrogen atoms are approached each other means the internuclear distance between the two atoms is decreases. The potential energy of the system is what happened? Decreases and reaches. So the minimum energy, so that minimum energy is at which distance? That is 74 picometer. At this 74 picometer, the attractive forces are become equal to the repulsive forces, and the two hydrogen atoms are bonded together to form a stable hydrogen molecule. Suppose if you are keeping these two hydrogen atoms are less than 74 picometer, maintain the distance, what is happened here? The repulsive forces are dominating. That's why the potential energy of the system is again increases. That is always corresponding to the less stability. That's why only at 74 picometers only the attractive and repulsive forces are balanced, and that is the state is said to be the maximum stability and having a minimum energy. At that stage only these two hydrogen atoms are bonded together to form the hydrogen molecule. So like that we can explain based on the the valence bond theory, how the two hydrogen atoms are combined together to form the hydrogen molecule. So let us take that one more example. You know very well. So far you can see the helium as a monoatomic state, but nowhere we can see helium-2 molecule. Why this helium molecule is not formed? That is, we can try to explain based on the valence bond theory. So, in order to formation, let us consider, let us assume if the helium molecule is formed, that is definitely between the two atoms, He and He, which is labeled as HeA and HeB. So the atomic number of helium is 2 because the 2 electrons are present. These 2 electrons are, say, in the first atom E1 and E2. In the second atom, the 2 electrons labeled as E3 and E4. Whenever these 2 atoms are away from each other, when there is no interaction between the 2 helium atoms, commonly what are the attractive forces are there? HeA, E1, HeA, E2. And what are the repulsive forces? That is E1 to E2. Repulsive forces are developed. This is the repulsive forces. These two are attractive forces. Similarly, here also HeB, E3, HeB, E4. And between E3 and E4, the repulsive forces are operating. These are the attractive and repulsive forces are operating between the electrons and the nuclei of each helium atom. Whenever these two atoms are trying to come very close to each other, definitely the nuclei of helium, which is labeled as A, is attracted the E3 and E4, and HeB, that is nuclei of helium atom labeled as B, is attracted the E1 and E2 of helium atom, which is labeled as A. Whenever the two helium atoms are approached each other, the new attractive forces are developed. Those new attractive forces are HeA, E3, HeA, E4, HeB, E3, HeB, E4. So these are the attractive forces are developed. What are the repulsive forces are developed? So whenever the two helium atoms are approached each other, commonly the HeA is repelled the HeB, but both the nuclei are repelled with each other, and E1 is repelled the E3, E1 is also repelled the E4. Similarly, E3 is repelled the E1, so E4 is repelled the E2. E1 is repelled E3, E1 is repelled E4, E2 is also repelled the, E2 is repelled the E3, E2 is repelled the E4. So these are the repulsive forces are operated. So these are the attractive forces, these are the repulsive forces. So among the attractive and repulsive forces, the repulsive forces are 5, the attractive forces are only 4. So that means in the formation of helium molecule, the repulsive forces are dominating the attractive forces. When the repulsive forces are dominating the attractive forces, the atoms are always trying to push apart from each other. So that means the helium molecule is not formed, because when the repulsive forces are operated, when the atoms are always trying to away from each other, that is always corresponding to the unstable state and having the more energy. That's why the helium molecule is not formed, because of the domination of repulsive forces than which one? Attractive forces. So only the hydrogen molecule is formed. Why the hydrogen molecule is formed? Attractive forces are dominating the repulsive forces. That's why the atoms are come very close to each other. During the coming close to each other, the energy will be releases. So as a result, the stability of the system is increases. At a particular distance, that is 74 picometer, attractive forces are equal to the repulsive forces, that is corresponding to the minimum energy and maximum stability. At that stage, the two hydrogen atoms are bonded together to form the hydrogen molecule. So such kind of phenomena is not exist in the helium case because repulsive forces are dominating the attractive forces, so that the helium atoms never come very close to each other. Because of the domination of the repulsive forces, so the energy of the system is increases, that is corresponding to the instability. That's why helium molecule is not formed by the combination of two helium atoms.